know some of your Facebook people, right? And I post on Facebook maybe 3 times a week, sometimes more, sometimes less, depends on how my week is going. But this week I'll probably be posting quite a bit because this is a week of celebration for Kathy and I. It's her birthday this week. And it's also our 14th anniversary. 14 years. Thank you very much. But when I post on Facebook, I always want to post something uplifting and encouraging. That's what I want to see. And I do that for a couple of different reasons. First of all, because what I'm watching or what I'm listening to, what I'm reading, what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and believing is all food for my heart and mind. And so I'm not going to ingest negativity. Because feeding on negativity plays out in your activity. As it says in Proverbs, above all else, guard your heart, for out of it flows the issues of life. Wise words to meditate on this week. So I guard my mind, and I guard my heart. I guard my consciousness. I want to live a happy, healthy, joyous life, don't you? So another reason why I want to post something that's uplifting and encouraging is because we're all connected. We've been talking about that quite a bit. A few weeks ago I shared with you, even on the subatomic level, on the smallest level, subatomic particles, when they're separated, even for huge distances, still interact with one another as if they're still connected somehow on some level, some unbroken wholeness. And more we're finding that the world is an unbroken wholeness, that we're all interrelated, interconnected on some level. Our world is not a conglomeration of separate, unrelated parts, separate, unrelated countries, separate, unrelated people, separate, unrelated ways of thinking, separate, unrelated thoughts even. Because those thoughts are a part of this energy of life, this vibrational energy that many of us call God. So I know that what I do, how I act, what I say, how I feel and believe has an effect on you somehow. And what you think and feel and believe has an effect on me as well. So I want to focus on the godness of life, the goodness of life, the godness, the goodness in all people. So anyway, I posted on Facebook a few weeks ago. It was a quote by Michael Beckwith, and here it is. It says, "There's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing missing in us. Everything is for us, and there is nothing against us. Let us remember this together." I thought that was uplifting and encouraging. Some of you are shaking your head yes. You would hit the like button on Facebook if you saw that? Well, it wasn't even in my mind that there are people on my friends list that don't feel that way, that don't think that way. You know, I'm used to surrounding myself with like-minded people who don't believe that way. So I got some interesting comments. One of them was, I'd say Satan is definitely against us, with an exclamation point. And another was, all people have an enemy that roams the land seeking whom he may devour. A very archaic way of speaking, right? You can tell that it's just cut and paste from the King James Version of the Bible. So both of those, you understand, are references to the personification of evil we call Satan. So it took me back, and I went into a time of contemplation to decide how to respond, or if to respond. Isn't that a marvelous ability we have? We can always choose if we're going to respond and how we're going to respond. And we're going to talk about that more this month. There's nothing set in stone that says we have to respond in a certain way. We always have the choice. Transfer of power, exactly. So as I was in this contemplation place, the voice in my head said, remember how you're always talking about and have talked about for years that we're all doing the best we can with the awareness and the information that we have at the time? And remember how you're always talking about how we're all responding according to our own beliefs and our thoughts and our feelings? Oh, yeah. These people are simply responding according to their own thoughts and beliefs and feelings, the information and awareness that they have at the time. And since I came from that particular way of thinking and believing, I could put myself in their shoes. I could empathize. Empathy. Empathy is the capacity to understand or feel what another being is experiencing from within their frame of reference. And since I came out of that frame of reference, traditional Christianity, I could empathize with that. What I want to share with you this morning is that empathy is not just a learned behavior. It's not just a habit that we put on. We don't just empathize because we've had the same experience or we've had come out of the same particular way of thinking or frame of reference. Empathy is an energy, is an ability that's within you. It's a part of your DNA. It's what you are made of. Want me to prove it to you? Remember a few months ago when we were talking about joy and happiness? And I shared with you about the happy chemicals that your body produces. Things like endorphins and serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Remember oxytocin? It's a hormone produced by the hypothalamus. Oxytocin is called the bonding chemical. Get this. Oxytocin endows you with the ability to empathize. It endows you with the ability to bond and connect. This chemical within you that your body produces endows you with the ability to love other people. That's a part of who you are. There's another thing that's within you that helps you to empathize. You might be familiar with them. They're called mirror neurons. You've heard of that? I know James and I had a bit of a conversation about them not too long ago. Back in the 1990s, a group of neurophysiologists found that there's a cluster of neurons within our brains that not only respond when we perform certain actions, but when we observe same or similar actions being carried out by others. For many, many years, researchers thought that we were using a complex thought process to interpret that person's actions or to understand it. What we're finding out now is that it's not by thinking, it's by feeling. When you see someone smile, automatically the mirror neurons in you that are responsible for smiling light up. Not only are you simulating the action, but you're simulating the feelings and the intentions as well. It's called intention understanding. It's a fascinating aspect of our complex thought process. So I share this all with you. Oxytocin and mirror neurons, new things that we've just found in the last 25 years. It's all within you. The ability to empathize isn't something that we put on. It's a part of who we are. So when we're talking about this energy of love, send out the energy of love, we're not just talking about going into your cubicle and feeling loving feelings for everybody and everyone, or thinking loving thoughts about everything and everyone. That's great, but what the energy of love, this dynamic, this miraculous energy that's within us, we're talking about connecting with life, allowing ourselves to be a mirror for others, and allowing them to be a mirror for us, to feel their feelings and to see through their eyes, to hope their hopes and need their needs and desire their desires, and to walk in their flip-flops or their stilettos or those bouncy little tennis shoes you've got, Connie. Their Birkenstocks and even their army boots. So So, what this all says to me is that we indeed are made in the image and likeness of an unconditionally loving God. That there's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing missing in us. There is nothing faulty or broken. There's nothing in need of repair or redemption. We are perfect, whole, and complete as God is perfect, whole, and complete. But yet, many people, when they look at the world around them, all they see is suffering and pain and disease and poverty, tragic events, expressions of anger that hurt and harm. They look and it seems like and it feels like that we're surrounded, that we're in the midst of a great evil. Where does this evil come from? Well, as we approach this subject, I want to share with you a few things. Many cultures around the world have developed belief systems throughout many centuries that attribute physical disasters, human tragedies, accidents, harmful human behaviors to an evil power outside ourselves. Buddhism, a belief system that was created over 2,500 years ago, has the devil-like figure Mara that tempted the Buddha. Christianity, a belief system that was created over 2,000 years ago, has Satan or Lucifer depicted as a fallen angel. Belief systems over 2,000 years ago. Think about how many beliefs and how many thoughts and opinions thousands of years old, hundreds of years old, that we're now finding just aren't true. We have more information, we have more knowledge now. We know more about our bodies, our psyche, our world, our earth, our universe, life in general. We used to believe that the earth was flat. Of course we did. The earth was flat because heaven was above it and hell is below it. We found out that the earth isn't flat. Oh, that messes everything up. Where are you going to put heaven and hell? We used to believe that the sun revolved around the earth. Of course we did. Earth and mankind was considered to be the center of God's creation. We now know that's just not true. The earth revolves around the sun. And the earth is not the center of the universe, far from it. We're out in the suburbs of the Milky Way, out in the boondocks of the universe. That really does a number on your belief system. So as we approach this question of where does evil come from, I want to share with you two things that the Unity movement teaches and that we teach here at Unity Center of the Desert that apply to this question. The first is that the first principle of unity teaches what the Christian Bible declares, not in a few ambiguous passages, but in many explicit passages, that there is only one power, one presence. God, the source and creator of all. In Unity, we teach that God is omnipresent, everywhere present. There is no spot where God is not. We teach that God is omnipotent, all power. We teach that God is omniscient, all-knowing, all-wise. There is nothing hidden, and we're finding that out more and more all the time. Given all this, that there's only one power, there cannot be an opposing power. There are not two opposing powers struggling over good and evil. Where then does evil come from? Evil is the product of a false belief that we are separate from God and separate from one another. And this causes us to act out of alignment with our true nature. This is a very challenging concept to accept. Oh, it's so much easier to look outside ourselves and point in the opposite direction and say, that's evil over there. There it is, over there. The other side of the planet. Those people over there. That thing outside of me. It's a very challenging concept to accept that that evil is our own creation. So we can empathize. Disengaging from ideas like this, a false belief in separation, and tearing down those barriers that we've created between ourselves and all other people, and returning to a sense of oneness, an unbroken wholeness, and honoring all people as the perfect and good creation of a perfect and good creator requires a miracle. And that miracle is within you. It's called empathy. See, empathy is a miracle energy. Empathy is a miracle energy because it illumines all those ways in which we ourselves are out of alignment with our true nature. Empathy allows us to be a mirror for other people and for them to be a mirror for us to see those things. Empathy is a miracle energy because it compels us to return to a sense of oneness and to see all people as ourselves. So rather than concentrating on what some people would call the godless, we choose to focus on the godness of life, the goodness of life, the godness of all people, the goodness of all people. We don't dwell on imperfection. No, we dwell on and in the perfection of God. So, let's use this miracle energy of empathy to see as God sees all of creation. It is good. You want to say yes to that? Yes. May it be so in your life, and in my life, and in our world. And so it is. We're going to go into a contemplation time. I always like to put both feet on the floor and get comfortable. Allow yourself to take some deep breaths. So we've talked about a very radical, revolutionary concept. That really brings it to an intimate level, that everything we say, everything we do, everything we think and feel has an effect on not only our lives, but the lives of those around us and on the world. It's our choice. So ask yourself, what do I choose to focus on? What do I choose to feel? Take a deep breath. Some of you are realizing to a greater extent that you are the light of the world. Ask yourself, what is my message? What is the message I send out? What is the message I want to send out with my words, my feelings? I live and I move and I have my being in the perfection of God. I trust life, all of life, as it shows up in those around me, as it shows up in my experiences, as it shows up in my body. I trust life. I trust God. I choose light. I choose love. I now open my heart and my mind, my body, my very life to connecting with all that is in all its many expressions. I say yes. Let it be so. It is so. Right here and right now. Amen. Ready for the lights?